Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. I am back on here live to discuss Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Kim is like, yes, we need to go ahead and make this official. I am ready to move on and get out here in these streets officially. So before we get started, if you are on here already, as you come on, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And let's go ahead and jump right into this. So, excuse me, Kim Kardashian. So, let me go ahead and share my screen of what I'm looking at. Let's see. Kim Kardashian vows to become legally single one day after Kanye professes his love. So, this is coming from page6.com. So we all know, unless you've been living under a rock, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West, they are currently separated. I guess they're co-parenting, if that's what you want to call it, but they're not together. You've seen both of them, out and about with, different people. Whether it's real or not, who knows, but you're not really seeing them together like that as a couple. So let's get into this article on page6.com. Kim Kardashian vows to become legally single one day after Kanye professes his love. Wow. Well, I guess we all know how she felt about that. So this is dated December 10th. How could she be so heartless? So question mark. That's what it says, guys. So it goes on to say Kim Kardashian. I'm sorry, let me see. Kim Kardashian filed documents to become legally single one day after her estranged husband Kanye West awkwardly begged for her to quote unquote run back to him. TMC reports that the 41-year-old mother of four filed the paperwork Friday afternoon, which, if signed by a judge, will separate issues of child custody and property from marital status. Kim, who filed for divorce in February, is also looking to restore her maiden name and officially drop the West. Oh, sis is not playing. She's like, I don't want you or your name. Wow. Now, listen, this is new to me too, y'all. I'm reading this right along. So it says, goes on to say, she's looking to restore her maiden name and officially drop the West surname she currently shares with Kanye and their children. A lot of times women, it's so funny. A lot of times women, when they are married to someone, let's just say, who can we use as an example? Probably, I guess we can maybe say Tamika Raymond, Usher Raymond's ex-wife. Like she wanted to still continue to carry the Raymond last name because she said her babies, her children still carried that last name. Makes sense. I've heard other people talk about wanting to still carry the last name of their, stranger, their ex-husband because of the children. Makes sense. But in this situation, this is not really a lot of times when you're dealing with celebrities, what you hear as far as where the woman's like, yo, I don't even want the name. I want to go back to, my maiden name, which is Kardashian. To me, this sends the message that Kim recognizes that her name, Kardashian, goes further than the name West. That's my opinion because she has what, four kids with this man. So she's okay with the idea of having a different last name than her babies. And as I said, more often than not, we'll hear of the woman. And I guess usually in these cases that I'm thinking of, that woman wasn't as big as that man. We can also, a more current case would be Kevin Hart's ex-wife, Tori Hart. She was on, I think I saw her on The Real. I think it was on there, and she was talking about the reasons why she wanted to keep her last name, and her children wanted her to keep her last name just because it was the same last name as theirs. So she said, okay, I'm going to continue on with the name Tori Hart. Again, that's a situation where Kevin Hart is definitely, a bigger celebrity than what she is. So his name Hart goes further along than whatever her maiden name is. I don't even know what Tori's maiden name is. But in this situation, Kim's like, yo, I want Kardashian bump West. So to me, I feel like she's doing it because Kardashian name is a really big, huge name, and she feels like that's a bigger name than the West name. And that's something that's, can be up for debate, but she knows that, okay, along with the name Kardashian, she can go very far in life because she was pretty much going pretty far with it before she even tacked on West to her name. So, yeah, you guys can kind of let me know, your thoughts on that. But I just want to kind of point that out right there. So it goes on to say the Kardashians made the move short. The Kardashian made the move shortly after her soon-to-be ex-husband publicly professed his love for her on Thursday night Free Larry Hoover benefit concert. And I also share my screen and show you some clips of that as well. I actually didn't even know that was even taking place until I started kind of preparing for this live. So that looked like that was pretty much a good look with that situation. So after this article, we'll kind of shift over to that and talk about that event. So the article goes on to say, the quote, I need you to run back to me, more specifically, Kimberly, the artist now known as Ye, ad-libbed during the performance of his song Runaway. Wow. The Skims founder, however, doesn't appear to want to reconcile, as Page Six exclusively revealed in November that she's dating Saturday Night Live cast member Pete Davidson. Y'all, do y'all think this is real? Like, I don't know. I mean, Pete, some wasn't he dated? He date what's that other singer? I think that he was linked to. What's her name? I can picture her. She looks like she's 12, but I mean she's a grown woman. But Pete just, I don't know. He just, to me, just seems like just this funny, silly guy that I don't know. For some reason, I don't look at him really, take him all that serious. But when I learned that she was kind of running around with him, I'm like, really, Kim, this is what we're doing? Like, because okay. It just seemed like it was just something for play, just to kind of get people talking, just something to do. Okay, let me get a babysitter for the kids, step out the house, get into something. All right, Pete, what you up to? Just to kind of feel young, the excitement again. I mean, that's the vibe I got because it just, to me, I don't know. It's just not something that I'm kind of taking serious, but who knows? Because just on a flashback with Sierra and Russell Wilson back then when they started dating, I really didn't really take that too serious, but they turned into a whole marriage, kids, family, whatever. So I guess you never know. Sometimes what appear to might be opposites attract. So as this article goes on to say, the couple were first spotted holding hands on a ride at Knott's Scary Farm in Southern California on October 29th, shortly after the SNL hosting gig, where the pair shared a kiss during a sketch. See there. I don't know. To me, it just all this screams publicity, but that's just me. Quote, she's acting like a teenager, like midlife, like Kim's like around my age, what, 40, 41. Like she's just trying to get her groove back. So someone's quote is saying she's acting like a teenager, a source told Page Six at the time. She's constantly giggling. Pete has made her feel like the clock has moved 20 years back. She seems happy. And I get that. So it's just, I just think that coming off of a relationship with Kanye West that to me seemed like it probably was pretty intense. Kanye just, he a different kind of man. So Kanye seems sparks me as that type of man that takes all your energy to deal with him. Like he's just that guy where you just got to make sure you got all your sleep, you done took your VA, your vitamins, you done meditated because you got to get ready to kind of deal with whatever's coming at you that day, that hour in that moment, coupled with having children and running your own business. It's a lot. So I can see how hanging out with this young guy who's like, what, oh, well over 10 years, what, closer to 20 years younger than her. I don't even know how old. We can look that up, how old Pete is. But I can see how, she's feeling, very airy and lighthearted. I mean, I get it. But as far as it being like serious and him being the West Kids stepdaddy and all of that. I don't see all of that. I just think Kim is just playing right now. And this guy, kind of like when Demi Moore was with Ashton Kutcher, we see how that started and ended. It just, to me, I find that men, older men with younger women, to me, those relationships, to me, seem to last longer or to be taken more serious than when we see the older woman with the younger man. It just seemed like those ones don't ever really end well. I don't know what it is. It just seemed like they're very temporary, short. It's just a different energy about, I guess, when it's an older woman and a younger man versus like the reverse of like an older man and a younger woman. I don't know if it's just because of just the society, it just comes off as though it's more acceptable when the man is older. But when I see situations where there's just this much older woman to this younger man. Somebody just got with Erica Badu. I didn't do a video on that, but like I recently learned that Erica Badu is engaged to like this 27-year-old man. And Erica's, I think when I did the math, she's like, I think Erica's like 47. I don't know. Sis is way older than this boy. I think she might be like 25 years older than him. But I seen this. I didn't do a video on it, but I just actually forgot about it. Maybe I need to do a video on that. But I'm like, what now? What in the, and I don't know. I've never heard about Erica ever being married before. This is Erica Badu. I've never heard about her being married before, but I know she has like at least 4 to 5 kids. She got a good number of kids. And I want to say each of the kids got different fathers. And most of the fathers, the father, the baby dads are like in the industry, in the music industry in some type of way. But I've never known for her to be married. Not since she's been what we know to be Erica Badu. I don't know if prior to her becoming famous, if she was married, but I just found that interesting that she was engaged to someone who's 27. So listen, that's on a whole nother situation. But as I was just thinking about with these older women and these younger men, you guys can drop in the comments or in the chat. How do you feel about them? Do you see that? Do you find that they work out just as with the older man and the younger woman, if you even consider those two work out? Because a lot of times those men, they'll end up with, after being with a younger woman, they might get with another younger woman. So you'll kind of maybe see them cycle through multiple younger women. But when I see a much older woman with a younger man, I don't, I guess, too much see them cycle through a lot of younger men. They might kind of give it a try, maybe like once if it goes to marriage, but you don't really see it where very often it's like a continual history of this is what they keep doing. I don't know. That's just my little 2 cents. But back to this page 6 article. Page 6 also exclusively revealed that West has been dating model Venetria, attending their public event together last month. It's unclear whether the two are still together, given West's most recent attempt to reconcile. I even saw Kanye's West interview on the Drink Champs. I don't know if you all seen that, but you can go and look for that. And he talked about basically still wanting his marriage. And this was post him running around with the young model Venetria. So at that time, and I think I saw that interview with Drink Champs, it's maybe been like a month ago or a little over a month ago. But I found that kind of interesting with him speaking on Kim, his wife, his family, and wanting to be together following him hanging around with this model. So I'm like, okay, are we done dating a model? Because he actually, in the interview, the woman, excuse me, Venetria did not come up in conversation. They didn't ask Kim Kanye any question about Venetria, but he did make it clear that he did want his family to be together. And what I took from it, it was my understanding that he felt like it was like Kim being, there were outside influences contributing to the the breakdown between his relationship with Kim, their communication, like everything, like he talks about. It's a really good interview. It's long, it's like a couple of hours, but I watched it. I find Kanye to be very interesting. He's a different kind of man. But I find him to be very, interesting. So again, that was Drink Champs. You can go and look up that interview with Kanye West on that YouTube podcast. So I don't know where the young girl Venetria is, but I hope that if his heart is still on Kim and wanting to keep his family together, which I'm not mad at. I mean, he's married, that's his wife, it's to be expected. I hope that he's let go of Venetria to let her continue to live her very best life, as a young woman, because it does her no good to be tied down and be dealing with some man who's still on Wednesday saying, I'm trying to make my marriage work. But then on Sunday saying, hey, sis, what are you doing? Venetria, can I take you out? Like, no, I don't think that she deserves that. I think that if Kanye wants to work on his marriage, he needs to not involve any other person into his situation. So we see Kim running around with Pete Davidson. And at the same time, we're not hearing or reading about Kim doing interviews talking about, I'm wanting to get back with Kanye West and make, you know, this marriage work. So I'm just not into anybody wasting anyone's time. So Kim, if she's already asking to be clarified or legally, what's the term? What's it say? She wants to legally be single, then Kanye got to take that for what it is and accept the reality, of the situation, which is he may want his marriage, but his wife no longer wants the marriage. In order for it to even work, both parties have to want the marriage. That's kind of like how it works. It can't be one-sided. It has to be both. It takes two. So this article goes on to say, so Page Six also exclusively revealed that West has been dating model Venetria, attending their first public event together last month. It's unclear whether the two are still together, given West's most recent attempt to reconcile. It says, this isn't the first time Ye has attempted to win back the mother of his children, as he attempted to making marital mistakes. As he admitted to making marital mistakes during a pre-Thanksgiving rant on Skid Row. On Thanksgiving Day, he shared a lengthy public prayer where he said, all I think about every day is how I get my family back together and how I heal the pain that I've caused. I take accountability for my actions. He also shared a photo of the couple kissing during their happier times. Reps for Kardashian and West have not immediately returned our request for comment. So this is the post he did. This was November 26th. Kanye West shares Kim Kardashian kiss photo after admitting he wants her back. And it's apparent, Kim, she's done. She's like, I'm done. Like, I can't do this anymore. And that's the thing, just even as a woman, have any of you ever heard to say, my mom used to say, like, a woman can physically be present, but like mentally, like emotionally, like checked out. If you've lost her like that in that mental and emotional state, like she's gone, even though like she's physically there. And I feel like Kim checked out a little while ago, and then it was just a matter, or it was a matter of her physically removing herself from the situation. That was like that last part. And she's done that. She's physically removed herself. So now it's just like, okay, I finally did it. And a lot of times that's the hardest part. Even say with a man being in a relationship, sometimes it's like I said, you mentally and emotionally can disconnect, but that physical part to actually remove yourself from the situation, that can be so hard, especially when you have children involved, you have businesses, you're concerned about like your the assets you guys have, like everything, the media, when you're a celebrity, like it's a lot that goes into it. And when you're in a marriage, it's not like a situation where boyfriend, girlfriend, you can just break up, move on, whatever. It's like a whole nother beast. You got legality, you got legal involved, you got paperwork, like it's a lot. So I'm one of those people that feel like if you're going to try to go the route of divorce, like really make sure that's what you want to do, because it's just layers to it. And especially when there's children that you're still raising together involved in it. And to me, I get the sense that Kim has finally, she mentally, physically, emotionally had already kind of checked out, but she finally physically removed herself from the situation. And now she's feeling like at peace and she can't look back. It's just like, okay, I've gotten out of that situation. I feel like this weight is lifted off of me. I can't go back there. It's unfortunate that our family can't work. I've tried. I'm not going to even say, I mean, they've been married for some years, what, at least 10 years. So I'm going to say anybody who, you putting in numbers like that, there was some effort coming somewhere when you're putting in numbers, just coming from a person who's been married for 17 years. It takes work. So I'm not going to dismiss, no matter how I may feel about Kim Kardashian, the Kardashian family, any of that. I understand marriage and what it takes to make, what goes into a marriage when you have children in it. Like, I understand all that. So I'm speaking from just that angle of just one married woman trying to understand another. Kim has worked, been in a relationship in this situation, and now she's like, okay, I've physically removed myself from it. I feel good. I'm feeling more at peace. I don't have the drama anymore in my life that I had before. And I don't want to revisit that. I'd rather just let him be a father to our 4 children. I wish him the best. And I just want to move on with my life. And I'm not mad at her for that. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that. I think many of us should be able to understand, and a lot of us should be able to relate to that. And sometimes what they say, it can be too late. Kanye circling back around, apologizing, saying this, that, and the third. What they say, a day late, a dollar short. Like Kim's like, I can't do it anymore. And he has to just respect that decision. And I think the sooner he respects that, the sooner he'll be able to move on. Because what I'm sure he don't want to be doing is just looking crazy out here in the streets, chasing or behind a woman who's making it clear to the world, not only to you, but to the world, that she no longer wants to be with you. Like this woman asking to be clarified as single out here in these streets, that if that's not an indication that she wants no parts of you, then I don't know what it is. She's making it very clear that she's ready to move on. And you just have to, Kanye, you just have to respect that. So let's switch gears and go over to the show he did. Let's get into that. Because, like I said, I didn't know that he was doing that, benefit concert. So it looks like it was like a good move. So this is from ABC7.com. Kanye West begs Kim Kardashian to, quote, run right back, in the quote, to him while performing with Drake at LA concert. So that's good to see them kind of come together, given we all kind of know that history that they've, had with one another. So it goes on to say, Los Angeles, Kanye West hasn't given up hope of saving his marriage. Oh, let's go ahead before we get started. I'll play this news clip. You can see kind of
The big story we're working on tonight is at the Coliseum. Thousands of people on hand to see Ye and Drake in a benefit concert. Air 7 over the scene as the rappers took the stage, while security keeping a close eye on people's safety. Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell live outside the Coliseum with more. Amy.
Mark, the concert started a bit late, so it is still going. I believe we're hearing Ye on the stage right now. This is a big night for the LA Coliseum, the first big concert here in quite some time. Ye and Drake giving their fans quite a thrill. Long lines of vehicles jamming the streets around the LA Coliseum. Thousands of concert goers stuck in traffic while trying to reach the stadium. Fans filling the stands at the historic venue to enjoy the first big concert since the start of the pandemic. Rapper Ye, formerly known as Kanye West, headlining a stadium show for the first time in 5 years, sharing the stage with another superstar, Drake.
We have two of our childhood legends coming together for the first time at a stage this big. It's crazy. It's exciting.
This is my first Kanye concert. I flew all the way from Boston. I had to see it. This is a legendary, once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Police officers and the Coliseum's guards patrolling the grounds. Security a major concern in the wake of last month's tragedy at Astroworld in Houston. 10 people killed when a tightly packed crowd attending rapper Travis Scott's concert surged towards the stage.
Well, the benefit of this event is it's all reserved seats, so no GA whatsoever, no fear of any crowd surge here, and we have beefed up security.
Ye and Drake ending their longtime feud to perform at the Larry Hoover concert, a benefit to raise awareness and support for the imprisoned Chicago gang leader. Hoover was sentenced to 6 life sentences in 1973, convicted of ordering the killing of a drug dealer.
These are two individuals that are megastars in our time right now that squash their differences in order for a greater purpose.
I'm glad to enjoy a great show with two amazing artists and to be outside.
Again, security has been very tight here tonight with around 70,000 fans attending the concert.
The big story we're working.
So that looked like that was a good look. It was nice to see Drake and Kanye coming together. So that was a pleasant surprise. So hopefully they continue to kind of stay on the path of having positive energy towards one another. So this article goes on to say Los Angeles Kanye West hasn't given up hope of saving his marriage. The hip-hop star made a public appeal to his estranged wife, Kim Kardashian, to run right back to me as he performed alongside Drake at the Free Larry Hoover benefit concert on Thursday night. The event, which took place at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, was live streamed on Amazon Prime Video, was intended to raise awareness about prison and sentencing reform, and more specifically, the case of Larry Hoover. West and Drake have been advocating for the release of the co-founder of the Chicago's gangster Disciples Gang, who was convicted of murder in 1973 and is currently serving 6 life sentences at a supermax prison in Colorado. During a performance of his song Runaway, West decided to deviate from the concert's main message and launch a bid to win his wife back. He goes on to say, quote, "I need you to run right back to me," end of quote, West rapped, adding a new verse to the track, more specifically, Kimberly. The concert was West's first headline performance in 5 years, and his gesture prompted a huge reaction from the crowd. Kardashian filed for divorce from West in February, 7 years after the pair married in a lavish wedding in Italy. So they actually weren't as married as long as I thought. I thought they'd been married at least 10 years, but 7 years is a good run. But really the last I checked, the average length of time of marriage lasts was about 6 or 7 years. So that's kind of like right around that time where, people, to me, I look at that period of time just from my own experience, been married for 17 years. It's like right around that time is when you really first start really experiencing some things. And there's a lot of people who don't know or never really seen what it is to work through the challenges. So especially in the African American community, because like we have very low marriage rates. The last I checked, it was like super low, maybe like 29%, 27, 29% of African American people being married. So that's very low in comparison to other cultural groups. And just from my experience, just as a married person, other people who's been married, looking at the time periods when people kind of get divorced, it just seems that right around that kind of 6, 7, like year mark, right underneath that 10, it's like when you're really starting to go through some things, and it's just like, I don't know what this is. I've never seen this before. I can't deal. I want out. And then divorce we go, because it's not hard to really get a divorce. It's just that it can be costly. The more assets, the more you've built with one another, the hard it can just make it more, it can make it hard from that point. So it just depends on like how much you have like vested within that person. And when you're at a 6 to 7 year mark, your average person, at most, they got some kids in the situation. It's not really a lot from a monetary standpoint that's kind of involved in it or whatever, unless you're like the celebrity like Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. So from my own experience, it's like when you're around that seven, that mark, that period, and you're going through things, if you don't have anyone close to you in your circle around you, whether that be like close friends, family, parents, grandparents, that can kind of help you navigate through that, to give you that encouragement or that sense of, hey, you can get past this. If you don't have that, then it's a dud. It really makes a difference. Because just even from my own experience around that period of time in my own marriage, when my husband and I started experiencing some things, I don't have marriages like all within on my side of the family. So at that point, I was just like, okay, 3 kids and all, the fine, this not working. This is uncomfortable. I'm about to dip. Like that was really legit my mindset. But with my husband, he comes from a family with marriages and things like that. And with his family and seeing marriages and seeing that, okay, you go through things, you can overcome them. This is not the end of the world. Like I went ahead and just took a chance on that. And it's like, okay, well, let's try to work through it. And we did. Like, and here we are 17 years later. So it does make a difference if you do have people around that can, that are examples of, hey, you can get past this. Like, okay, you can get over, you can, what they say, the storm don't last forever. And sometimes when you're in it, it feels like it lasts forever. Like it feels like it's never ending. So what I had to do is just put the faith in my husband that, okay, we will, even though to me, I was feeling like, oh, this is good. I'm so uncomfortable. I just want to leave. I had to put the trust that we were going to get past it. Like and he knew from just seeing his parents, who were married to a death do you part situation. My father-in-law has passed on. My mother-in-law is still here. His grandparents were death do you part. So that was all he's seen. Aunts, uncles, like everyone, that's just what they did. So he knew from experience. Me, I had never seen that. I didn't know that from experience. So I had to kind of go off of like what his experience was, what he'd witnessed. And I put that faith in my husband at that time, and praise God that I did, because we got past it. And I look back and I think like, wow, I would have just threw it all away over something that was just a temporary emotion, like something I thought was like the end of the world, or I'm just, I don't feel comfortable. I don't like you today. I just want to move on, do something else. And I just went through it all the way like the vast majority of people do. And I didn't. So to see that their marriage was 7 years, that makes sense to me, just from me with how I understand when marriages kind of tend to kind of break down and the divorce filings start to take place. So the article goes on. The article goes on to say the gold digger hitmaker romantic declaration comes weeks after he made it clear he was still hoping for a reconciliation. West, now legally known as Ye, opened up about the collapse of his marriage last month during an appearance on an episode of the podcast Drink Champs. Check it out, guys. That's that podcast I was telling you about. Is awesome. Kanye had a lot to say, so I definitely urge you to go check that out. Referring to Kardashian as his wife, he said, "I ain't never seen the papers, We're not even divorced. He added, my kids want their parents to stay together. I want us to be together. Kardashian is currently rumored to be dating Saturday Night Live comedian Pete Davidson, with a source close to Kardashian telling CNN that they are taking things slow. They are just getting to know each other, not serious, the source says. This is her first time seeing someone since filing for divorce, so she's taking it extra slow, as she should. But, to me, I just think, Kim's just having a good time, which I'm not mad at her. It is what it is. But this is, we're looking at the lives of people, two married people who are going through some things like many of us have and can relate to. It's just that theirs is on display for the world to see. But they're normal people just like you and I. So I try to factor those type of things in as I do my commentary on, these celebrities when I come on here live. But yeah, I just want to come out here, just let you know that, Kim's like, yo, I'm ready to take this thing forward, and I'm ready to be declared single. It's time for me to move on. And with that being said, I feel like, Kanye needs to take heed to that and get himself together and do what he needs to do to move on. He needs to move on. Perhaps, there's someone out there for Kanye. I believe there's someone out there for everybody. And Kim's out there exploring her options, and I feel like Kanye should be doing the same thing. However, I am someone who do believe that before you jump out there and start exploring your options with all of that, you need to have healing yourself. So, only you can kind of answer that question. If am I ready to get out there? Like Kim is out there doing her. We see her running around with Pete. Only she can ask herself, okay, am I ready to be out here doing this? It reads that she's taking things slow. That's fine. That's like something I would want. I'm happy to hear, because she does have children, so she has to be cautious on, okay, who she's going to bring around her children. I haven't known for anything about Pete having any kids. Like I said, I think he's super young. Let me look up and see how old Pete Davidson is. Let's see how old he is. I think Kim's like 41. I think she's around my age. Her birthday, I think, is probably like a day apart from one another. So Pete is 28, and I'm not seeing anything like where he's like has any kids or anything like that, been married. So Pete's just a young guy, just out living his very best life, as he should, as a rich guy, So he's doing what he should be doing. He's 28. He had a birthday November 16th. So Pete's living it up. He's having a good time. And now he got Kim K on the train, living it up, having a good time with him. More power to you. Kanye, it's time for Kanye to figure out what makes him happy, and for it to be outside of Kim Kardashian. He has to accept the fact that this woman no longer wants to be with him. And you know what? It's perfectly okay. It's fine. You know, everyone's not going to want the same thing or the same people. Like it's just the way of life, just like Kanye had a relationship before he got with Kim. The women that he was with prior to Kim, he made the decision, hey, I do not want to be with you anymore. Okay, now we're dealing with a situation where a woman's saying, hey, Kanye, I do not want to be with you anymore. It's just the way it is. It can go both ways. You're not always in control over, how the relationship is going to go. All you can do is do what you can, do your part. And if what you're doing, your part isn't good enough, then so be it. You take your lessons, your hard knock lessons, and you apply it for your next situation, point blank, period. It's just about learning and from whatever your previous experiences was, um, accepting your wins, your losses, and just applying it to your life. So therefore you can do better. Like that's all you can do. So it's not the end of the world for Kanye just because Kim is saying, hey, I don't want to be with you anymore. I mean, it's just life. It's just life. So hopefully going into 2022, Kanye will start to show that he's accepting that, okay, it's time for him to move on. So I'm definitely all about, getting yourself together, um, getting to know who you are, getting in that quiet place, being real with yourself, trying to figure out, okay, what you could have done better, what you did do well. And so therefore, when you go into your next situation, you're not taking any of that baggage, that drama into it, because that person don't deserve that. That's man or woman. We have to be responsible for our own stuff. It's not fair for us to kind of carry that into another situation, to someone else's life, that bag. Like, it's not fair. So I just only hope that both Kim and Kanye both, understand that, and just have intentions on just healing, doing the work for themselves. So therefore, when they cross paths with other people, get in other relationships, they're not bringing that baggage into those relationships. They're clean slates, and they're giving that man or woman a fair chance. So let me know what you have to say. Drop a comment. Please like, share the video. Hit the notification bell so you know when I go live. And I do thank you for joining. I'm a smaller YouTuber, just growing. So I'm just kind of kicking out this content, letting you know my thoughts, as I, we all have an opinion, and I'm just, just another person out here on YouTube who's just putting their opinion out there. And I welcome all opinions. So drop a comment. I like to read comments and engage and respond. And, we can just kind of keep the conversation going. And like I said, I may come back out here and do another video on Erykah Badu, because like I said, I recently seen something about her being engaged to a 27-year-old. So I have to kind of explore that one some more, but I just found that to be quite interesting. So, I might come back and kind of hit you with that one and just see kind of what your thoughts on that. But thank you again for joining, and until the next broadcast. Peace.